Static electricity. Similarly, when a plastic comb is brought near small pieces of paper, they will remain unmoved. But when you rub it on your hair and bring the comb near the small pieces will get attracted towards the comb. If you comb your hair in completely dry conditions in darkness while standing in front of looking glass, you may find tiny sparks coming out of your hair. Activity. To show that charged body attracts an uncharged body. Take a plastic ruler and rub it against your hair vigorously. Your hair should be dry. Now, bring it near small pieces of paper. You will see that paper bits get stuck to plastic ruler as shown in the figure. Actually, the ruler gets charged or has acquired electric charges after being rubbed with some woolen material or against your dry hair. Facts. When we take off our clothes made from nylon, terylene, wool, etc., in darkness, we see very clearly the sparks of electric charges flying off your body. We usually find the cuffs and collars of our shirts very dirty. This happens because of the fact that the collar and cuffs get charged due to rubbing with our body and they attract dust particles from the air. Activity. To show that electrostatic force attracts or repels tiny objects. Inflate a balloon and bring it near a wall. You will find that it does not stick to the wall. Now, rub the balloon with a woolen material and bring it near a wall. What do you observe? You will find that the balloon sticks to the wall. Now, take two balloons and rub them in a similar way. Now, hold both the balloons close together. What do you find? You will observe that the balloons repel each other. From the above activities, we conclude that rubbing a ruler or a comb against dry hair develops a kind of force which can attract or repel tiny objects. This is called electrostatic force. The ruler, the comb, the balloons are getting electrically charged when they are rubbed against your hair or wool. These substances acquire electric charges. Since these charges are not flowing but are stationary on comb or balloon, they are known as static charges. If these charges are not allowed to flow, they are termed as static electricity. Conservation of charges. Charge conservation is the principle that electric charge can neither be created nor destroyed. The net quantity of electric charge, the amount of positive charge minus the amount of negative charge in the universe, is always constant. Charge can be created or destroyed, but only in positive-negative pairs. Charging a conductor. Charging a body means to produce an electric effect in it so that the body acquires either positive or negative charge. Actually, in charging a body, the transfer of electrons from one place to another or from one body to another takes place. A conductor can easily pass current through it. A conductor can be charged in three different ways. 1. Charging by conduction. 2. Charging by induction. 3. Charging by friction. 1. Charging by conduction. When we touch an uncharged conductor with a charged conductor, there occurs a sharing of charge between the two conductors. This is called the charging by conduction. Activity. When a positively charged rod, B, is brought in contact with an uncharged one, A, then a few number of free electrons of A would automatically pass over to B. This is because initially, as compared to B, the number of free electrons in A was in excess. But on being contact, as A loses electrons, positive charge will develop in it. So, we can say A is charged with same kind of electricity as B. Again, if B is negatively charged, it would give away a few number of free electrons to A, thus making A also negatively charged. 2. Charging by induction. When an uncharged body is charged by the presence of a charged body at a distance, then the process is called charging by induction. Activity. Suppose a positively charged rod, B, is brought near to an uncharged one, A, then due to the force of attraction between unlike charges, near end of the rod A will develop negative charge while the far end will develop positive charge. In this position, if A is momentarily touched with our hand or earthed, the electrons would come from the earth and neutralize the charges developed at the far end of A. If the connection with the earth is discontinued and the rod B is removed, the negative charges of A will be uniformly distributed and it will become negatively charged. Again, if B is negatively charged, the near end of A will develop positive charge while the far end will develop negative charge. If, now, A is momentarily touched with our hands, these electrons at the far end would go to the earth. If the earth connection is discontinued and rod B is removed, the positive charges of A will be uniformly distributed. 3. Charging by friction. Friction arises when two surfaces are rubbed together and this produces electrical effects. Example, when we stroke a cat's fur, we can hear the crackle of sparks that are produced. Similarly, we can see as well as hear the sparks when we comb our hair in front of a mirror in a dim light room. In these cases, electrons are being transferred due to friction when one body is rubbed against the other. Thus, we can conclude 1. In case of charging by conduction, there is a material contact between the charged and uncharged bodies, while in case of charging by the method of induction, the charged body is kept at a distance from the uncharged body. 2. During charging by conduction, the uncharged body shares the same nature of charges as that of charged body, but during charging by induction, the uncharged body is charged with opposite nature of charges as that of the charged body. Electroscope. An electroscope is a device which helps to detect the presence of charge on a body. Along with it, it also helps us to know that whether the body is positively charged or negatively charged. It is also used to compare the charges on different bodies. There are two kinds of electroscope. 1. Gold leaf electroscope. 2. Pith ball electroscope. Gold leaf electroscope. A gold leaf electroscope is an instrument which detects the charge of a body. This electroscope is very sensitive and delicate instrument and must be handled with care. It consists of a brass rod which passes through an insulated plug inside a glass jar. The top end of the brass rod carries a brass disc, also called brass cap, while its lower end has two thin gold leaves. The lower part of glass jar is surrounded by metal foil which is connected to the earth. The glass jar prevents the air currents to enter inside the electroscope. Detection of charge by gold leaf electroscope. The conductor which is to be tested is touched with brass cap of the gold leaf electroscope. If the leaves diverge, we can say that conductor is charged. If the leaves do not diverge and remain intact, we can say that conductor is not charged. To identify the nature of charge, take a gold leaf electroscope and charge it positively or negatively by touching its disc with a positively charged glass rod or negatively charged ebonite rod. Let us suppose that the gold leaf electroscope is charged positively. Now, touch the given charged body to the disc of positively charged gold leaf electroscope. If the leaves of the electroscope diverge further, then the body is positively charged. It is because the similar charges repel each other. If the leaves of the gold leaf electroscope collapse, then the body is said to be negatively charged. It is because some charge of the positively charged gold leaf electroscope will flow to the negatively charged body because unlike charges attract each other. Hence, the amount of charge in gold leaves will reduce and then will collapse. Charge on the gold leaf electroscope, effect on the divergence of leaves when the body to be tested is touched with the disc, inference, charge on the body to be tested. Uncharged, 1. No divergence, 2. Divergence, 1. Neutral, 2. Charged, positive, 1. Increases, 2. Decreases, 1. Positive, 2. Negative, negative, 1. Increases, 2. Decreases, 1. Negative, 2. Positive. Atmospheric electricity. In 1749, an American scientist, Benjamin Franklin, had performed an experiment and determined that during thunderstorm, clouds are electrically charged. For his experiment, he made a kite of silk cloth. He attracted a metal wire of about 30 centimeters of length at the top corner of the kite. The other end of the wire was attached to a string. A metallic key was attached to the lower end of the string of the kite and then a silk strip to insulate the string from the earth. When the kite went high enough in the sky during the rain and thunderstorm, the string got wet due to rain. Due to this, he obtained a number of sparks between his knuckle and key. During thunderstorm, the clouds get charged due to friction. The charge flowed through metallic conductor wire and the wet string to the metallic key. Now, this charge got collected on the key. As soon as it comes into the contact of knuckle, a spark occurs. It is because the knuckle gets charged oppositely due to induction. Due to the presence of opposite charges, the spark occurs between key and knuckle. The experiment led him to invent a device called lightning conductor. Fact: if the charges in cloud are strong enough, they force a path through the ground through the air and discharge as a lightning flash. Tall buildings and people on open ground are prime targets for lightning.
Try to put on a woolen sweater while your hair is dry. Your hair will stand straight. Do it in the dark and you may see a small spark and hear a crackling sound. This phenomena is actually same as lightning. That small spark while putting on sweater and during lightning, both are caused by the same reason. These are caused by the accumulation of charges. How do accumulated charge produce the streak of bright light? Let us find the answer. Comb your dry hair with a dry plastic comb. Now, take the comb near small pieces of paper. You will see the comb will attract the paper pieces. This is because the comb has acquired some charges because of rubbing with dry hair. So now the comb is a charged object. The comb attracted the pieces of paper because charged object attracts uncharged object. In the process of charging the plastic comb, the hair also gets charged. We already know about electric current. It is nothing more than a flow of these charges. When we combed dry hair, the plastic comb gained small charge, but it couldn't flow away as plastic is non-conductor material. When charges created in an object cannot flow, then the stationary electric charge is called static electricity. We often create such charge or static electricity by rubbing two materials. Such charge can be positive or negative. When we create static electricity by rubbing two objects, say we rub a balloon with woolen cloth, then one object gets positive charge and the other gains negative charge. Let us perform a small fun experiment to understand the charges. We take two balloons and hang them close to each other. Balloons are not touching each other, as you can see. Now we rub both the balloons with cloth, which means both the balloons get same kind of charge. Now let us release them. We would find that the balloons are repelling each other. It means same kind of charges repel each other, just like north pole of the magnet repels another north pole, and opposite charges attract each other. How to know whether an object is charged or not? Let us make a small device for that. Take a small glass jar, a cardboard which is slightly bigger in size than the mouth of the glass jar, one metallic paper clip, two small aluminum foil strips around 4 to 5 cm long and 1 cm wide. Next, open out the clip and insert two aluminum foil strips at one end. Make sure the two strips are close but not touching each other. We insert the other end of the clip in the cardboard so that it is perpendicular to it and it is hanging down from the cardboard. Place the cardboard as the lid of the jar. If we touch a charged object with the metal clip, see what happens? The aluminum foil strips are repelling each other. It means they acquired same kind of charge, which means charge from the charged body have flown into them. So, we can say electrical charge can be transferred from a charged body to another through a metal conductor. Next, if we touch the paper clip, the aluminum foils would come back to the normal position. Means they lost the electric charge. We say the foil strips are discharged now. So what exactly happened here? When we touched the clip, the charge from the strips flowed through the metal clip, then through our body to the earth. When charge from a charged body transfers to the earth, we call that process earthing. You know, such a simple device can be used to test whether an object is carrying charge or not. This device is known as electroscope. In buildings, there are cables which go into the ground for providing earthing support. If somehow electric current leaks into the wall because of damaged wire, the electric charge would go straight into the ground through these cables and no one would get electric shock. Thus, earthing is provided in the buildings to protect us from electrical shocks due to any leakage of electrical current. So to sum up what we learned today, some objects can be charged by rubbing with other objects. There are two kinds of charges, positive charge and negative charge. Like charges repel and unlike charges attract each other. The electrical charges produced by rubbing are called static charges. When charges move, they constitute an electric current. An electroscope may be used to detect whether a body is charged or not. The process of transfer of charge from a charged object to the earth is called